As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all of you. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a deemed to be university and NAC accredited with A grade, and its centers of excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today's national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022 and beyond, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. This webinar is being hosted on every Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Today is 10th August 2023. The webinar is on a very important topic: doubling farmers' income, empowering through bioenergy farming, and creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. Creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply and empowering through bioenergy farming, a very important concept. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our today's guest speaker to deliver the talk in 115th edition of this national webinar series, Mr. Francesco Arlia Jr. Good morning to you, Mr. Frank.
Good morning.
He is the Chief Executive Officer, Harvest Harmonics from Florida, USA. I wish to inform the participants and the speaker that the university regularly conducts two webinar series of importance, namely National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 and Beyond, Atmanirbhar Bharat in Agriculture, on every Thursday, and International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technologies towards Self-Reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on every Saturday. For the benefits of the participants and our guest speaker, so far under this webinar series, university has organized 114 webinars on various important topics. Each topic can lead to an agri-tech startup. Very important topic. India has 2.5 lakh gram panchayat, 6.5 lakh villages, and they are governed by 2.5 lakh gram panchayat, local body institutions. Each gram panchayat needs one agri-tech startup. 14.5 crore operational holdings, means 145 million operational holdings, out of which 90% are small and marginal operational holders. And it means that there are 90% of the operational holders in India are small and marginal farmers having less than 2 hectares of land. They are the food security network. Their productivity has to be increased. They have to find a remunerative market, and there cannot be any agricultural wastage getting generated, and there should not be any post-harvest loss. So let me give you, there are 114 topics, but let me give some important topics for the benefits of the audience. Role of agriculture cooperative societies and e-governance. We have 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies, each one having not less than 500 farmers as its member. I have been propagating an agriculture value chain for every primary agriculture cooperative society with respect to their farmers. And Blockchain technology for fishery value chain. A self-contained village felt in need of the day. Land and a camera, a camouflaged treasure trove, spices informatics network value chain, smart hill agriculture, a digitalized hill agriculture value chain, Mara mobile, Mara marketing, integrated mariculture, aquaponics, and precision agriculture for income revolution, smart tribal agriculture, optimizing value chain, and this has now generated a lot of interest to undertake smart tribal farming in a cluster of 10 tribal villages from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and from northeastern region to west coast of India. Digital agri-tech and industry perspective, land resources information system in India, present and road ahead. Weather decision technologies for increasing farm income by Mr. Peter Coramelas Jones, Vice President of DTN Minnesota. Big data in smart farming, sustainable soil and land management for climate smart agriculture, understanding market dynamics for increasing farm income, how to generate additional profit via simple, attractive approaches in farm produce, adoption of flexi rubber check dam technology, potential benefit for farmer in rainfed and coastal agro ecosystems, realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry, Octosol organic humic solutions for increasing crop yields and quality while increasing farm income and improving soil health. Closing the nutrient loop, phosphorus management in protein farming, improving nutrient use, efficiency, and farm productivity. Artificial intelligence enabled pest management technology for agriculture crop protection, empowering farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination. Role of mass media, agrobiodiversity, intellectual property laws, agriculture and farmer welfare, and insight into the issues of India's agrarian economy. Sustainable integration of livestock with agriculture and farm income increase. Role of geographical indications for improving farmers' income. Lessons from Asia Pacific region. Dairy informatics network value chain. Spices informatics network value chain. Generating sustainable on-farm income for increasing through fintech intervention. Nutrition sensitive agriculture. Nutrition sensitive agriculture pathway for increasing farmer income. Artificial intelligence and data analytics to ensure optimal nutrition in the soil, harvested food that minimizes human disease. Nutrition sensitive agriculture pathway for increasing farmers' income, artificial intelligence and data analytics to ensure optimal nutrition in the soil and harvested food that minimizes human disease. It is very dear to today's topic. And bioenergy supply chain, a business opportunity for rural enterprises and farmer produce organization. The previous topic on to ensure optimal nutrition in soil and harvested food that minimizes human disease was given by Dr. Chris Soutropoulos, Chief Executive Officer, Global Opportunities Commercialization from Australia. Tech enabling India's tech-starved farmers for a manifold increase in productivity and income. Open insurance ecosystem for agriculture producers, risk management solutions to overcome repercussions on farmers' income, market stability, and food safety. Role of mass media for farmers' income increase, a case study from Green TV. AgStack, Agriculture Stack, open insurance, open source digital infrastructure for the agriculture ecosystem, a Linux Foundation project. Circular bioeconomy towards resilience, urgent need for redefining raw materials and modified waste management policies and regulations. Agritech New Horizon in Indian agriculture, supporting a farmer for marketing will only help doubling of income by 2022. Rural transformation for income, farmers' income increase, case studies from impoverished districts. Mobile enabled software as a service to solve complex supply chain challenges. Case study from Daily Orders. John Deere's journey in India integrated precision agriculture solutions, doubling the income of farmers through eco-agri revolution. This is also very important for today's topic. Bayer's carbon farming initiatives, post-production intervention, maximizing value for farmers, BAFE models of revival of traditional water management systems to enable doubling of farmers. Should we adopt farmers' welfare as a new paradigm instead of farmers' income? ICT intervention in agriculture, challenges and opportunities. Cultivating dignity for farmers. Model village development program. Market-driven agriculture. Farmers collective and with value addition. Powerful business model. Lessons from Operation and Flood for transforming agriculture and food systems. Sustainable food production. Sustainable food production. Today you are talking about sustainable food supply. Lessons from Operation Flood for transforming agriculture and food systems. And agriculture marketing in India, defects therein and remedial measures, if any. Small-scale fisheries and their contribution to rural livelihoods. Case studies from developing countries. Impacting lives through livelihood promotion and value chain development. Organic spices cultivation for doubling of farmers' income in northeastern region of India. Agriculture exports management, imperatives of integrating with the global value chain at the earliest. Dairy husbandry for food security and national prosperity. Mushroom cultivation, way towards self-reliance from agriculture waste and providing national food security to the nation. Subhas Palekar natural farming, future of farming rooted in Indian culture, tradition. Vision 2025, agriculture and allied sectors viewpoint, doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention and minor forest produce. Unnati Agri, internet in farmlands, key for prosperous farmers. Jackfruit informatics network value chain, a needed digital infrastructure for increasing farmers' income. Doubling of farmers' income through integrated agri value chain. Potential role of minor fruits in achieving nutritional and livelihood security. Neem tree, a sustainable solution to livelihood, chemical-free, nutritious food and global warming. One district, one product informatics network value chain, key to unlocking India's potential of agri-export. Village e-commerce, challenges, barriers and potential in rural India. Export promotion of GI-tagged agriculture products from India. Issues, challenges and potential. Livestock insurance ecosystem, a necessity for smallholder farmers in India. Innovative future farming, need for design of agriculture, empowering rural farmers by co-creating value-added products. Food value chain, issues, challenges and potential. Animal health industry, quality, innovation, talent and technology have power to transform. Farm-linked activities and secondary agriculture, empowering small and marginal farmers. And harnessing opportunity in rain-fed areas, pathway to prosperity, agri-entrepreneurship, development, pathway for farming as a service, agricultural resources information system, and micro-level planning for enhancing farm health, key to achieving doubling farmers' income by 2022 agenda put forth. Growth and structural transformation in agriculture in India moving to the next level. And experience sharing on entrepreneurial journey in secondary agriculture. Village level cooperatives, a proven model to elevate farmers from their poverty. AgroGrade, a AI-powered digital infrastructure enabling digital trade in fruits and vegetables. Innovation for waste to wealth. And development of livelihood activities among tribals through Nature Science Foundation. Promoting rainwater harvesting through direct borewell recharge for smart rural transformation. Smart and collaborative agriculture, the way of the future. Climate resilient smart hill agriculture, Jawad Hills 2050. Prime Minister's Wi-Fi access network to network interface. Entrepreneurship opportunities for small and micro business in agriculture. Pay Agri, market linkage to farmers through digitalized agriculture value chain. Land policy reform for doubling farmers' income. Smart tribal farming, steps towards operationalization of doubling farmers' income by 2022 committee recommendation in Jawad Hills. Digital health informatics network value chain in tribal villages. Organic farming, key to doubling farmers' income. Smart tribal farming, empowering particularly vulnerable tribal groups, Chenchu tribes in Andhra. Smart tribal farming, doubling ginger crop yield through natural farming method in Araku Valley, Alluru Sitaramoraju district. Smart tribal farming, empowering tribal farmers, Goya Gonti, Kondareti region of Godavari region through digital technologies in sustainable agriculture and zero budget natural farming. And today is 15th edition of the National Webinar Series. Will be addressed by Mr. Francesco Arlia Jr., Chief Executive Officer, Harvest Harmonics for Florida, USA, on very important topic, doubling farmers' income by income, empowering through bioenergy farming, creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. Dear participants, you see the key words: farmers' income, bioenergy farming, nutrition, sustainability, and food supply. To develop any sector of economy, a nation essentially needs four main synchronized interventions. Four main synchronized intervention, namely enabling policy environment, state-of-the-art technologies, financing mechanism, entrepreneurship capacity. India is said to be a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said, India is a largely an agricultural country and a country of villages having more than 6.5 lakh villages. Agriculture sector is the foundation of India's economy. It employs more than 50% of India's workforce and contributes almost 20% of its GDP. It is the main source of food, employment, and income for 70 to 80% of the people suffering from hunger in developing countries. And at present, agricultural livelihoods are being severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic global warming and climate change. In India, 463 India's districts, according to 2011 census of India, they are home to 968 million people, are extremely vulnerable to climate events. Farmers of India are facing very multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, lack of infrastructure, and weather. Indian farming community comprises of about 14.5 crore operational holdings, after which 90% farmers are having small and marginal size operational holdings. They need timely, location-specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production risks, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. And Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, at the 7th Governing Council of Niti Aayog, meeting held on 7th August 2022 in New Delhi, he said in his opening remark, need to focus on modernized agriculture, animal husbandry, and food processing to become self-sufficient and global leader in the agriculture. We have reforms through digitalization of agricultural systems. Government of India, through its National Informatics Center, NIC, has prepared an IT blueprint for agriculture sector. I was instrumental at the time through a national conference on informatics for sustainable agriculture development in May 1995, and a smart village scheme 2002-2007, and 2007-2012, the smart village scheme, and launched a national e-governance program in agriculture in 2005. Under the chairmanship of Dr. Ashok Dalwai, Government of India established a doubling farmers' income by 2022 committee. It submitted its report in the month of September 2018. I was closely associated as the leader for two subgroups, Volume 11, which talks about empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination. Volume 12B, Digital Technology in Agriculture. And this has given a 7 mission mode program for total digitalization of Indian agriculture systems. I was able to bring the benefits of our digitalization process from 1987 onwards up to 2018. And this has digitalized agriculture, digital technology, and innovation in agriculture. digital technology in agriculture and innovation in agriculture, and in achieving transformation through smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. 1,45,000 villages wherein tribal population are more. They are called tribal villages. So that's why the committee, was able to recommend smart tribal farming. Tribal agriculture is a sustainable agriculture. This has to be globalized. And smart irrigated farming, this topic is very relevant for today's topic by Mr. Frank, and smart rainfed farming and smart tribal farming. And smart digitalized agromet advisories and agriculture risk management solution, and digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming, digitalized agriculture values for 400 agriculture commodities, and digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers, and digitalized integrated land and water management system per drop more crop, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. It means integrated farm health management, farmer health, public health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environmental health through all these digital technology to bring in health informatics and computing over a village. And our honorable Prime Minister, in his monthly talk to the country, Man Ki Baat, on 29th November 2020, he said it: our farmers, farm sector, villages are the foundation of Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is very clearly said it. 3 pillars: farmers, farm sector, and villages are the foundation of the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Smart tribal farming, smart digital smart tribal farming, I talked about it. Our Honorable President, Her Excellency, Madam Draupadi Murmu, comes from a tribal community. And in honor of her, we thought that we should make a smart tribal farming, as a pilot project in many districts of India where tribal populations are operating agriculture. Digital transformation of agriculture in tribal areas for many tribal farmers' income, a component of Dr. Ashar Dalwai Committee on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022. Pilot project initiative in a cluster of 10 to 15 tribal villages in districts of India has been taken by the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a NAC accredited A grade deemed to be university, in association with the non-governmental organization and public and private research institution of India for food, nutrition, health, livelihood security, and economic productivity of tribals. Tribal population of India consists of 18.9% of total population, living in 1.45 lakh villages, predominantly across the forest and hilly regions of the country. Tribal agriculture is a sustainable agriculture, which has to be promoted so that they become a part of the global value chain. Their existing agricultural value chain is very primitive as of today. And Smart Tribal Farming Initiative is a step towards achieving sustainable and resilient agri-food systems in India. This project initiative is envisaged to facilitate food, nutrition, health, livelihood security, and economic productivity of India's tribal population. Atmanirbhar Bharat, our Honorable Prime Minister's Narendra Modi's 5 eyes to make India self-reliant economy: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation. And we also announced Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. And India has also got Amrit Kal led up to 100. Next 25 years, how from India at 75 to India at 100, this is 1947. How India should be. We have declared it will be a new India. And that the government of India has come out with the blueprint. In India's budget to 2023-24, it has come out with 7 priorities. It is called Saptarishi Priorities. And it talks about digital public infrastructure for agriculture, farmer-centric solutions for crop planning, and also it talks about net zero, that our India's commitment towards net zero 2070. And despite rapid industrialization, agriculture remains one of the key areas of employment generation in rural India. And this budget talks about to revolutionizing this sector by encouraging agri startups and natural farming. Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and Agenda 2030, which gives the hope which gives the future we want. It has 17 goals with 169 targets. And we have to establish informatics network value chain, a development alternative. Knowledge is a source, innovation is a force, and the incidence of technical progress serves as a development catalyst, which we will have today. And the digital network for farmer, we were, by 1995, I was instrumental to provide an informatics blueprint for improving agricultural productivity and sustainable livelihoods in the form of AgriSnet, AgMarkNet, SeedNet, HeartNet, Animal Production and Health Informatics Network, Fisheries Informatics Network, and so forth. We also have Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal group development mission. And smart and collaborative agriculture is the way of the future. And future of farming will be mostly based on extensive research and development in the areas of genomics, robotics, informatics, and nanotechnology. Green, genomics, robotics, informatics, and nanotechnology. And ICT-enabled information system is very important. And emerging technologies influencing the growth of Indian agribusiness industry are farming as a service and digital agriculture. And agroecological and sustainable agriculture has got a promising future. And our budget 2023 also gives a boost to natural farming. And regenerative agriculture is a conservation and rehabilitation approach to food and farming systems. And permaculture is a design science. And we also have the organic farming, which is being operationalized and practiced, promoting use of natural fertilizers, making use of natural carbon cycle so that waste from plants become the food of another. Sustainable agriculture and natural farming are gaining strength every day. And today's topic is doubling farmers' income, empowering through bioenergy farming, creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. What is sustainable food supply? Food that is produced in ways that avoid damaging natural resources. Food that is produced in ways that avoid damaging natural resources, provide social benefits such as good quality food and safe and healthy products, and contribute to local economies. This is how it is defined: sustainable food supply. Global Alliance for the Future Food, in its report on 2021, has set up a set of 7 principles: renewability, resilience, health, equity, diversity, inclusion, and interconnectedness. And these are all the principles for food systems transformation. It is estimated that by 2050, the world population will reach 19.1 billion, 34% higher than today. Food production will need to increase by 70% to feed the larger and most likely more urban population. Sustainable Development Goal 2, which talks about end hunger, achieve food security and improved nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. This is very important. Digitalization of agriculture will make Sustainable Development Goal number 2 is achieved. Energy crops are the low cost and low maintenance crops grown solely for renewable bioenergy production. The crops are processed into solid, liquid, or gaseous fuels such as pellets, bioethanol, or biogas. Why is energy farming important? Not only does renewable energy help the farmer save money, but also combats the effects of global warming. Bioenergy farming. I'm trying to, try to give some definitions for the audience, making, doing a housewarming for the audience to understand Mr. Francesco Arlia's talk.
Thank you.
And IPCC defines bioenergy as a renewable form of energy. Biophysics is a science of using the laws of physics to enhance biological function. Today you can hear over 20 years of biophysics research has led to a breakthrough in improving plant health and increasing crop yield. Doubling farmers' income by 2022 talks about one main important component: integrated farm health management, human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fishery health, and environmental health. It is a $1 trillion data economy in the world to use artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and data analytics to map this data on a village through GIS technology. And it needs more than 10,000 data scientists and data engineers work on a data center on health informatics alone, which is not happening in the world. That's why this center has established a Center for Health Informatics and Computing. And future of farming is Agriculture 4.0, and it relies on research, innovation, capacity building in the agri-food sector funded through multi-financial framework initiative. That's why this university has set up a Center for Agricultural Informatics, e-govern research studies, and launched an MTech in Agricultural Informatics for the engineering students and postgraduate non-engineering students to get into, through IT in agriculture to the agriculture. And I'm very happy that according to the synopsis of the speaker, secret to doubling the income of farmers lies in efficiency. And it says that for the last 3 years, since Harmonics launched the crop booster, the results have been game-changing. University trials are showing yield increase up to 79%, while others are documenting water reduction of 50%. Field trials are around the world on every crop tested are showing yield increase up to 166%, with water, fertilizer, pesticide savings up to 50% to 100%. And it says that that he says that farmers don't want to miss these opportunities, and he is welcoming us to the future of farming. And with this, let us turn to the address by Mr. Francesco Arlia, Chief Executive Officer, Harmonics, to talk on this very important topic: doubling farmers' income, empowering through bioenergy farming, and creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. And this topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com, Shobhit University India, youtube.com/Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University for establishing startups, digital infrastructure on smart farming in association with the Harmonics, facilitating agricultural and rural transformation in India. And it has a Harmonics, according to their synopsis, has the vision and strategy to evolve agricultural industry worldwide by transitioning it from a chemical age farming of the last 120 years to bioenergy farming age of the next 300 years. And let us unlock the opportunities in India at the earliest. The secret to doubling the farmer's income lies in the efficiency. Let me introduce the guest speaker, Mr. Manish. Mr. Francesco Arlia is the founder and CEO of Harmonics Corporation. He has extensive history as a business professional with 32 years as a forensic accountant, business engineer, and strategic visionary. In his career as a account forensic accountant, he specialized in defending his claims against IRS in tax cases with a perfect 90-0 record. His skill in investigating cases allowed him to quickly grasp the challenges of several industries. His current passion, Harvest Harmonics, is a biophysics and agriculture technology company that benefits farmers worldwide. This new agriculture technology was 24 years in development, has now been released in its perfected stage and backed by empirical results in several university trials around the world. These trials showed a significant increase in photosynthesis, yield, and the reduction of water and inputs. In addition, field trials on nearly 500 farms worldwide showed faster plant growth, improved plant and fruit health, and increased yields. And the Harvest Harmonics is headquartered in Clearwater, Florida, in the United States, and has corporate offices in India, Australia, South Africa, and Italy. And Harvest Harmonics is looking to partners with scientists and researchers around the world to conduct 1,000 science trials on the crop booster by Kiminasi plants technology to validate that this technology truly is light years ahead of the existing state of the art and indeed the future of farming. With this, I welcome Mr. Francesco Arlia for today's topic on doubling farmers' income, empowering through bioenergy farming, and creating more nutritious and sustainable food supply. Over to you, Mr. Francesco Arlia.
Thank you, Dr. Moni, for that incredible introduction, and for and thank you for inviting me to speak and present to yourself and all your distinguished guests and honorable guests nationally and internationally. First, I'd like to say that I'm honored to be here, and I do appreciate this opportunity to introduce your guests and your listeners to the future of farming, what we are proposing to the world to investigate, to see for themselves, about Harvest Harmonics and the Kiminasi plants, which is the technology behind the product called the crop booster. So the first thing that I'd like to explain is that this is a technology that was designed to help transition farmers from conventional farming into sustainable farming, no matter at what level they're at, whether they're small farmers, local farmers, large farmers. The idea and the concept is to get the farmers to have a profitable way to transition, because the costs of transitioning into sustainable agriculture is quite high, and farmers all over the world are being forced into this area because the world is demanding sustainability. We have the global warming issues, we have government regulations now, and so you know this better than anyone, with all your extensive years of experience, that this is the direction that that farmers are being channeled, and this is the direction that all farmers are going, and the way to do it, is using a technology such as ourselves, considering the fact that we are the only technology in the world that has quantum physics programming in a microtransmitter form that delivers over 3,000 quantum physics programs to the plant's environment, and gets the plant to utilize the sun's energy and expand, or should I say boost, the plant's genetic potential. So what I'd like to do to start off is actually there's a video that I created that well explains, the enormity of this technology. It's a short video. It's about 6 minutes, but it will get everyone to understand, get a better idea of what we're looking at. And then on our website, we invite everyone to, click next to where the video is. They can click on and put their email address and be able to download all of our scientific empirical data, which were the statistics that you presented earlier, that most people listening to would think that's impossible. But if they study our scientific data that was generated by government scientists and by university scientists around the world, they will see that we have done the impossible. So if we can bring up the first video, which this video is located at harvestharmonics.com, the science page. It's called the science page. So if we could bring up that first video, it would be let's see if I bring it up. Video file. Hold on 1 second.
Mr. Manish?
Yes, sir.
Can you bring up the video file?
Yes,
this time is the one with from that I have on YouTube and on our website.
Hello, this
No,
is Dr.
not this video. The one that has my picture on it, I believe.
Will come. You let it come. You can talk. You can.
Yeah, of course.
With Harvest Harmonics. And if you're tired
Well,
of spending a fortune on fertilizer,
Let me,
Have you numbered that video?
It's the video that was sent to you through YouTube.
Yes, sir. Uploading, sir. Just give me 1 minute.
Sure. In the meantime, the understanding, the most important understanding about our technology is that it is the future. We are 30 to 40 years ahead of us of anyone in the industry with respect to agricultural technology. This is transitioning the world from chemical farming of the last 120 years, and the purpose is to bring us into the future, potentially into the next 300 years, because we need to get away from all the chemicals, and it's not going to happen overnight. There will be a transition, but farmers need tools to get to that transition, to be able to do that. Here we go. Hello, my name is Francesco Arlia Jr. I'm the proud CEO of Harvest Harmonics International, and I'm here to introduce you to our first thesis. This document has been waiting 4 years to be released. We have worked very diligently, very thoroughly, and we're excited to have it released to you so that you can see it for yourself, what this is all about. I'm just going to give you an overview that when you're looking at the crop booster by Kiminasi plants, the technology that is evolutionizing the agricultural industry worldwide, be aware that this is something that is 30, 40 years ahead of its time. And we say this, but we also have the science to prove it. And so this is just an introduction so that you can actually download our first thesis, okay, where we explain the history, the development, the technology, the way it works, and bring you into a new world called cytoalgorithmics, which is the programming of cells. Cyto is cells, it's the original word for cells, and algorithmics is the mathematical programming of. Okay, so you put those together and you have cytoalgorithmics. This technology is based on this new science. This new science is being introduced to the world through Kiminasi. Kiminasi is the name of the organization that owns all of the science and has developed this science. It's an advancement of bioresonance. It's basic physics. But how far have we advanced? I'll explain. Everybody remembers this technology. It's about 15 years old now. Well, we've taken the concept of this technology, which requires electrical equipment to record data onto this plastic device, any type of data, and then it can transfer this data, audio, video, computer data, any type of data can be placed on here and then transferred through a computer, through a DVD player, radio player. Then it basically is a transferring of information that then can be, redistributed or utilized in however it's being utilized, whether through sound or video or, again, through computer systems. This is Kiminasi technology. This is the advance of this. And what we do with this disc is, which we call a microtransmitter. This disc is metal, holds over 3,000 programs directly and indirectly related to agriculture, the plant's biology, the soil biology, okay? And the sun's energy, all of the sun's energy. This technology does not require electronics. This technology requires a metal pipe. It is placed on the bottom of that metal pipe, and when water passes by, an electromagnetic wave is created. That electromagnetic wave turns on this microtransmitter through an electromagnetic switch. That's how advanced we are. Does not require power, does not require electricity. Then it activates and acts like a battery and will last for 2 years until it runs out of energy. During that 2-year process, it is transferring over 3,000 mini programs of quantum physics directly related to agriculture into the water. And that information is being carried from the water to the plants, at which point the plants absorb the water with the programming from the microtransmitter, and they continue to grow naturally at their genetic potential. Now, we know this is way ahead in terms of science, which is the reason why we have so much science now behind us to prove everything we're saying is 100% true. And we are inviting everyone who downloads our first thesis, studies this material, and is interested in running trials with us, whether you're a farmer, you're a scientist, you're an agronomist, you're a university, okay, you're researchers, doesn't make a difference. Major corporations, smaller companies, anyone that wants to try our technology and see for yourself. Because ultimately, no matter what I say, no matter what the scientists say, no matter what our documents say, okay? Seeing is believing. And when you see this for yourself, now you will understand that the future of farming has arrived. And this will totally support regenerative agriculture, sustainable agriculture, because we are the future of agriculture. Thank you for listening. I look forward to working with you in the future. Ciao. Thank you, Manish. Now, with that introduction, which again is on the website, so you can then get the link to download our information and see the empirical data that we've been working with for the last couple of years. What I would invite you, I'd like to start with right now, is to bring up one of our our PowerPoint, because then I will go through the presentation and show, step by step, what is it that the technology is actually doing, and so if we can bring that up, Manish.
Culture University, Rawalpindi, Pakistan.
No, not the video, the actual the PowerPoint. That video is Dr. Kram from Pakistan, who is going to explain.
You have to upload the PowerPoint again, sir. You have to upload the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's right. I have it uploaded. Here it is. Fantastic. Thank you. So, welcome to the future of farming. Harvest Harmonics is revolutionizing the agriculture industry worldwide by creating a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. So our mission and our goal is to help farmers around the world grow healthy and better quality crops at lower costs while achieving higher yields and saving the, rejuvenating Earth's ecology with organic life through advanced technology. But the main purpose that Dr. Moni and I really connected was because our purpose was to improve the profits and income of the farmers. And when I found out about his mission of doubling farmers' income by 2022, I said, okay, well, this is the technology that can actually help to double the farmers' income, because it has that potential of reducing their costs and increasing their production, which obviously would net a greater profit and we have seen, we actually have farmers that have doubled their profits. So this was designed for a university so that we can get trials going with the university.
You can explain along. You can, don't rush through. Explain each steps.
Not a problem. So,
okay, please.
When you're working with a university, the universities they have to fund. They need the funding for the trials. So what we did was, because we were going for 1,000 scientific trials around the world, we did not want to. We didn't want to have the universities come out of pocket, and we wanted to work with all the universities. So we set up and designed a system where we would put up the technology for the farmers, okay, for free. So if we had to give the farmer, $20 or $30 or $40,000 worth of technology, we would give the technology to the farmer for free, under the understanding that they would work with the university and they would pay the university for doing the study. This way, we remain financially independent, and it would become a valid third-party study where we were being reviewed and our technology was being studied independent of our involvement. Okay, it would be between the farmer and the university. But the farmer, instead of paying us for the technology, we would give them the technology and they would pay the university for doing the study on their farm. This way, the farmer can see the benefits on their own farm, earn more money, and that money would be what would cover the costs of the university. So we designed this system so that everybody would win and they would see the benefits of the technology. And it would also strengthen our reputation in the industry because we were being evaluated independent. We have a policy where we will not pay for any trials. We won't pay for any studies because the fact that we're paying for the study would eliminate the most important portion of independence, right? So we wanted to remain fully independent. Moving on. What is the Kiminasi crop booster? Basically, they are biophysical signals that we have stored into a microtransmitter in the form of programming. Instead of programming, zeros and ones as in computers, this is quantum physics programming, which is something that has not been discovered by the world yet. Everyone knows that quantum physics exists, but nobody's figured out how to actually program quantum physics signals in a way to get an expected result. And Mr. Fulvio Balmelli, the inventor of the Kiminasi plants technology, had developed equipment so that he can measure, quantify, and record quantum physics data. And then he figured out how to use that data so that he can program the same data that he received in a way to give it back to the plant for itself and for its environment. That's why you're saying this is a very futuristic technology and 30, 40 years ahead of its time, because what we're expecting is that universities will start to get involved and will get interested in this, maybe take it up as a curriculum in their schools and start to understand and start more deeply studying quantum physics. I'm sure the future will have quantum physics engineers, but until then, we are the ones that are bringing the future to the present. So what does actually quantum physics programming at a cellular level, what will it do? So if you have unhealthy cells and yet you have the programming and the data of healthy cells, when you transfer that data of the healthy cells to the environment that has the unhealthy cells, then the unhealthy cells will become healthy again because they are being programmed to become healthy again. In a farm, you would take a cornfield this is a cornfield that looks normal without our technology. These were pictures of cornfields that we received right off the internet. To the right is pictures of an unhealthy cornfield. When you apply our technology through the irrigation system to the cornfield, what will happen is it starts to transition. So these frequencies, this quantum physics energy frequencies that are transferred, will then improve the regular cornfield to become better and stronger and healthier, and the unhealthy cornfield to also become better, stronger, and healthier. Now, these are pictures from a Kiminasi plant's cornfield. You can see the difference just in color. You can see the difference literally in the chlorophyll of the plant itself. The deeper green that we automatically produce. And this is really mainly because there's a term called a heliophyte. These are plants that are sun lovers. Okay, there are plants that love the sun, and when our plants, any of the farmers using our technology, when they're using our technology, we're transitioning the plants from plants that are trying to resist the sun because the sun is very strong, okay? And some plants which suffer from sunburn, right? Or from heat exhaustion because the sun is very strong. But when they have our technology in them, the plants they're transitioning to become heliophytes, where they want more sun. They want more sun energy. And they take that sun energy and they convert it through the process of photosynthesis into sugar. And they take that sugar and they push that sugar down into the root system, okay, to exchange with microbes. The microbes bring the nutrients, and the plant's roots release the sugar to the microbes in exchange for nutrients. And this is standard plant physiology. So the more sugar that the plant has to exchange with for nutrients, so that the plant can then expand and grow and produce its products, the better it is for the plant, but it also is better for the microbes. And we're going to get more into, how that works. But here, the Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster is a revolutionary new technology that improves the health of plants, humans, and the environment overall. The acronym for it is KPCB, all right, for Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster. Technology can be installed on any irrigation system in the world. Our system consists of microtransmitters that have been programmed with the specific biophysical frequencies that a plant and its environment need for optimal operation and maximum biological potential. These biophysical signals reach the plant via water through the irrigation system. Now, the good thing is, in 2024, we're expected to release a new advance of our microtransmitter, which would be working without an irrigation system, where non-irrigating farmers could use our technology. It's in testing right now, and we're doing our own internal tests to prepare it for release in 2024. Where is the Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster technology installed? Anywhere you want to see results. Anywhere you have an irrigation system, you want to see results, you can install it there. You can install it through a pipe that we have pre-prepared, or we send a kit with the microtransmitters that can be then strapped onto an irrigation system and secured through belts. What is the main purpose and the benefits of the technology? It's to improve photosynthesis in plants, okay? Because the Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster technology widens the range of conditions under which photosynthesis can occur in plants. For example, when the weather is cloudy, then the crop booster programming provides the biophysical signals that a plant needs to expand its ability to use light more efficiently. When the crop booster also increases the quantity of light that a plant can absorb. Okay, it increases the plant's ability to absorb sunlight. And it improves soil health. The crop booster signals increase the quantity of beneficial microbes by improving the plant physical chemical characteristics of the soil. The crop booster biophysical signals wake up the dormant microbes and reactivate the good bacteria that have been previously affected by petrochemical usage. So the chemicals that the farmers are using are locking up the nutrients and locking up the microbes that they they don't do their job as efficiently. Our technology reverses that, and it wakes up the microbes and gets them to be more proactive. So let's talk about improved photosynthesis and soil health. You know, what does that do? That gives greater growth and vigor, greater yields, and best quality. So most corn plants, corn stalks are going to grow to about 7 feet. In this picture that you're looking at here, these are two scientists in Ecuador, and we have many videos with them, and we have a thesis with them. It's on our website. You can download it. But they have documented and took this picture to show that these corn stalks have grown to 15 feet. More than twice the size. And for them, that was, 100% increase in their forage that they used to feed their animals. And since they were growing organically and using our technology, the animals that ate the forage also had better milk production and better health improvement. And they were able to tell that by the improvement of their skin.
Are you participating?
So then we have other studies that show the same thing, but I'll get to that in a second. So by improving the photosynthesis, what are we talking about? The reaction to light. Crop booster signals are designed to increase the absorption and use of sunlight, water, and nitrogen to maximize energy production during the light reaction of photosynthesis. During the Calvin cycle, which is the dark reaction of photosynthesis, additional crop booster signals stimulate increased absorption and use of carbon dioxide while improving the efficiency of glucose metabolism to create a propulsion of the dark reaction of photosynthesis and plant growth. This also helps the plant to resist environmental stress. Due to the above improvements, regardless of which method or plant the plant uses to fixate carbon, C3 or C4 or CAM, which are the most common photosynthesis processes, the crop booster broadens the range of conditions under which photosynthesis can occur. And so this improves its availability to sunlight. Now, let's move on because there's a lot to cover here. And, this presentation can actually be downloaded, or we can send it to you. Anyone that requests any of this information, we would gladly provide it. So what does improved photosynthesis do? What are the benefits? Well, it improves the plant's health, improves soil health and nutrient availability. It'll improve absorption and more balanced utilization efficiency of macro and micronutrients. It'll increase the density of roots, which we have seen consistently, increased efficiency of photosynthesis, increased stress tolerance in adverse environmental conditions, improve disease resistance, increase carbon dioxide respiration, make the plant healthier, stronger, with greater vigor. It'll help the plant to grow faster and increase the shelf life of the products that the plant produces and the quality of those products. And these are the things that we've seen. So what have we noticed? We've had increased yields from 20 to 150%. Okay. We've seen increased fresh weight of fruits and larger fruits and vegetables, and the increased number of fruits and vegetables. We've also seen quality increases in the percentage of crop quality elements, such as BRICS rating and a BRICS ratio, the longer shelf life, increased nutrient content in the fruits, because some of the farmers and some of the scientists have measured the nutrient density of the fruits, larger, more attractive fruits and vegetables, and most people measure things by flavor. So we've seen better flavor. We've actually had farmers ship the products to our office so that our employees can enjoy the benefits of tasting the crop booster products. So here are some of the results that we've measured in improved corn comparison with one of our science trials. There was more dense leaf width. There was larger stems in diameter. Average plant weight was increased by 192%. Okay. Average number of leaves per plant was a 30% increase. The plant stem diameter was a 63% increase. And the leaf width was a 59% increase. Now, again, if you go to our website, you put in your email address, you'll be able to download all of our science trials, and you can go to this corn trial that was done by the San Francisco de Santander in Colombia, and you will be extremely impressed with the results of that trial. So here's some more statistics. Now, I'm gonna explain something that this university did, which I personally feel was quite insane. Okay, I rarely want to use that word, but the university wanted to test the true potential of our technology. So what they did was they set up 2 fields of about 1 hectare each, and they planted everything exactly the same. All the plants were exactly the same. But what they decided to do was they were going to technically torture the plants. Okay, what they did was they cut all the water down by 50%, and they grew the plants on both sides, the control and the crop booster side, with 0 fertilizer. Now, that I thought was very insane, because you're going to kill the plants. We did not know how the plants were going to react. We never had a trial like this. We never even expected a university to do such a trial. But what they did was they added no pesticides, no fertilizers, and 50% water. And that's all they did. And what happened is, you can see the difference was, you see these little corn ears? You see it in the picture? So the control side grew 1 ear of these little tiny corns. And the crop booster side grew 2 full ears, corn ears, full size, and some even larger than full size. And so they wind up having an 815% increase in yield. Now, the only reason that happened is because they choked out the plants. I don't expect any farmer to ever do something like this, but they took away all the fertilizer, and with our technology alone, they were able to grow the plants. So that gave them, they had 100% increase in corn ears, because we had 2 ears. The control only grew 1. The height of the plants was 169% greater, as you saw in the pictures. The stem diameter was 55% greater. The average corn weight was 815% greater. And the forage, because they harvested everything for forage, the forage increase was 583%. And of course, if the control side is skinnier and 7 feet tall, and the crop booster side is thicker and 14 to 15 feet tall, then obviously these numbers make sense. They measured the protein content, 2.6% increase in protein. The fat content was 0.64% increase. The mineral content was 3.45% increase. The bricks was 3% increase. And the titratable acidity was minus 127%. So moving on. How do we improve soil health? So I'm going to explain, and then we'll go into the benefits, and then we'll show you some of our results. So the crop booster signals increase soil cation exchange capacity by attracting minerals to the soil particles, increasing binding effects, and inhibiting the leaching of nutrients. When you have our technology in the soil, understand that you don't need as much water. We expand the root system of the plant. We open the pores of the roots, and that allows for greater absorption of nutrients, faster absorption of water. And so the plant needs less water and it needs less nutrients. It's that simple. So any plant that has greater density of roots and more roots is always going to have, better production. That's a given. But when you use our technology, this is a constant, because part of the programming is to expand the root system. So the crop booster signals help activate nitrogen fixing bacteria in the soil and inhibit the evaporation of nitrogen from moist soils. So by doing this, we're actually getting the microbes to pull nitrogen into the air and pull nitrogen out of the air into the soil and pull carbon out of the air into the soil, and then fixate it so that it becomes a natural fertilizer. The crop booster signals improve soil characteristics by reducing compaction. Okay, now we do that in a few different ways. There are signals that will help to improve the water absorption in the soil, which will release the compact soil and make it more soft. Also, because the roots expand and they also break up the soil. So there's a few things that are happening to minimize the soil compaction and maximize soil breathing. The crop booster signals optimize soil water retention due to the soil decompaction effect, which increases the rate of water penetration into the soil and results in less water being needed to hydrate the soil. Now you will see this when we show you our water results and how that works. The crop booster frequencies activate a mechanism of greater molecular aggregation of the soil, so that soil clumps provide more space, porosity, through which water can infiltrate more easily. With the crop booster technology, there is a reaction in the soil of chemical bonds through negative electromagnetic charges, which interact on calcium, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and silicon contained in the clays. So what are the benefits? Higher soil fertility, higher content of minerals in the soil, and improved soil electrical conductivity. Increase in beneficial soil microorganisms, including cyanobacteria. Decrease in soil compaction, improved soil health and nutrient availability, and increased soil porosity. Now, what have we seen in soil health? These are some of the lab results that we've seen. We've seen 47 to 65% increase in soil cation exchange capacity, CEC, 47% increase in soil CEC with tomatoes, 65% increase in soil CEC with tomatoes, 300% faster soil water infiltration rate with almonds, water infiltrated to a soil depth of 100 centimeters in 10 hours with almonds. Previously, it took 12 hours with the water to infiltrate a soil depth of 40 centimeters. Okay, 100% faster soil water infiltration rate with cherries. Improvement in soil pH from a pH of 4.9 before crop booster use to a pH of 5.2 after crop booster use with coffee, and reduction of excessive soil electrical conductivity, EC, from 2.3 to 1.7 with cherries. Now, these are results that have been provided to us by the scientists and by the farmers that conduct these measurements. So, because we're moving into a world of smart farming, where smart farming includes technical equipment that does the measurements, that measures the humidity in the soil, that measures with sensors, soil sensors, measures the energy of the soil and the minerals in the soil. So the farmers that have that equipment are the best farmers to validate our technology and tell us what we're doing. And that's where we're getting this data from. We're getting it from farmers and from scientists that actually have the smart farming equipment to report the data back to us. Let's talk about reduction in fertilizer, water, and agrochemical use. So these are the things that are really important. Reducing water. I mean, let me explain something that's really important that most people are not thinking with. 70% of all the world's water, and these are facts that you can verify for yourself through the internet, but 70% of all the water used in the world, that means everybody in the world using water every single day, all the toilets being flushed, all the restaurants using water, all the showers being taken, all the cooking happening, all the spraying of people's gardens, all the water that everybody uses all day long. 30% of all that water is used by everyone for everyday usage. 70% of all the water used in the world every single day is used by one industry, agriculture. So there is a big push to reduce water usage because we are consuming the world's water faster than we can maintain it, which is the reason why, well, I'm going to get into this other factor about the water bottle industry. But now we know that 70% of water is being consumed by one industry, agriculture. Well, 95% of agriculture is conventional, which means 95% of the world's agriculture is being grown with chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides. And so if you take 95% of the world's water, 95% of the world's agriculture is using chemicals, and 70% of the world's water is used for agriculture. Well, you do the math. Basically tells you that 66% of the world's water is being poisoned every day. 66% of the world's water is being poisoned every single day. And that water then has to go back into the system for us to use as humans. Because of this, in the last 30 years, the water bottle industry, the water sales industry, water bottles, those sales have surpassed, in the last 15 years, they've surpassed the combination of all soft drinks in the whole world. If you take all the sales of every single soft drink, soda, juices, all the soft drinks in the entire world and put them together, they will not surpass the sale of water throughout the world. Water sales have beaten soft drink sales for the last 15 years. If you go into a store now in the United States, you can buy a bottle of Coca-Cola less than you can pay for a bottle of water. It doesn't even make logical sense. But the reason is because people don't trust the water anymore. So they have to buy water. And this is what's happening all over the world for those countries that can't even afford to buy water. And this is because we have been poisoning our water with chemicals from the agricultural industry. Now you understand why every government is starting to switch and push to sustainable agriculture. They need to clean up this mess. It's a disaster. And so we're going to explain how our technology, reduces fertilizer usage, which can save farmers a lot of money, reduces water usage, which can save farmers a lot of money, and reduces the use of agrochemicals, which also can save farmers a lot of money, which brings them to doubling their income as quickly as possible. So let's talk about the fertilizers. How do we reduce fertilizers? Well, the KP signals target the increased absorption and balance use of the main macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So because we're increasing that, you need less of it. Okay? The crop booster signals also enhance and help balance secondary micronutrient absorption and utilization. Again, because we're helping to efficiently absorb nutrients and natural fertilizer generated, from the macronutrients, then there's less need for fertilizer. The crop booster promotes an increase in the absorption of use of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is important for growth, development, immunity, and environmental interactions in plants. Crop booster keeps calcium absorption in balance by regulating magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium uptake. Calcium, magnesium, sulfur, copper, zinc, manganese, and silica are absorbed together to facilitate iron absorption. An increase in boron absorption has also been observed when using the crop booster system. Crop booster signals also inhibit excess sodium absorption and reduce excessive soil conductivity. Sodium normally interferes with the uptake of other minerals by plants. So the inhibition of sodium absorption with the crop booster can keep plants alive and thrive. So sodium is a problem for a lot of plants, and it's a problem for a lot of farmers because there's a high, in many countries, there's a lot of high levels of sodium in the water. We've already proven this with a trial that we did in Israel, where they increased the sodium levels on all the plants, and our crop booster plants increased production by almost 22% in tomatoes, and they did it in high sodium water, where the control with their best tomatoes, their best producing tomatoes, we outperformed their best producing tomatoes in Israel. And that's on this presentation, that study, or that case study. So what are the benefits? Well, Crop boost improves nutrient density, plant health, yields, and more while reducing the need of fertilizer. So that's a simple benefit. This is especially important for continually rising global fertilizer prices. Obviously, the cost of fertilizer is through the roof. And we think about this. Just follow this logic. If you stop using, I don't want farmers to stop using chemical fertilizers. I want them to transition. I want them to learn how to transition over a period of time. You never stop anything. You never change something, instantly. That's dangerous, and that's insane. Okay, you do things step by step, but the first step is to utilize our technology, because it promotes sustainability and will help the farmer transition. So you want to transition to using less fertilizer, especially chemical fertilizers, and you want to start transitioning into using more organic matter and more biofertilizers. But eventually, the farmers should be composting, and they should be, creating their own organic matter, because if they slow down on using the chemicals, they'll have less chemicals in their organic matter, and they can use that to replenish natural fertilizer and biomass. It's the way farming was done 120 years ago. And we need to go back to that. We need to get back to that organic matter, because that's the only way we're going to replenish and rebuild our soils. Our technology is a booster. Our technology will help you to get there. But our technology is not going to replace Mother Earth. It will help you to replace Mother Earth by increasing the biomass and getting the natural fertilizer from recycling, the biomass that you pulled from the field. Okay, composting it, turning it into a natural fertilizer, which can be easily done. It's not complicated. Crop Booster was designed to allow plants to grow successfully with low quantities of fertilizer and even no fertilizer in many cases. We often see decreases in plant fertilizer needs by 50 to 100% with the Crop Booster use, but we do not recommend cutting your fertilizer by 50 to 100%. We do recommend, cutting your fertilizer by 15, 20%, seeing the improvement in the farm, then transitioning to cut back another 10%, and keep going until you get to a point where your farm is healthier, your farm is doing better. Okay, these results that we're telling you about, the 50 to 100%. Well, these were scientists that were doing studies. They weren't for-profit organizations or for their livelihood. These were studies that were being done. They wanted to see the potential of the technology. Okay, but we don't expect the farmer to do that. We expect the farmer to use their intelligence, okay, because farmers are very intelligent people, probably some of the most intelligent people in the world, okay, to transition gradiently, step by step. We often see yield increases 20 to over 150%, and even with reduced fertilizer or no fertilizer. Well, if there was no fertilizer, they had healthy soils that our technology was able to boost and get the microbes even hyperactive and keep those soils healthy. But understand, most farmers do not have healthy soils. Most farmers have destroyed their soils. So we are not recommending that they do that. We're just giving you statistics of what will happen in the future when you get your farm to rejuvenate its soils and have healthy soils again. You will not have to be dependent on extra fertilizers from the outside world. You can create your own and generate your own. Crop booster can lower input costs to allow farmers to grow more crops and produce higher yields on the limited farmland that exists for an exponential growing population. That is true. That we've seen over and over again. Moving on. So, again, what I'm going to show you, these are trial studies, okay? Or these were farmers that decided to take the risk and show us, what they did. But this is 100% reduction in fertilizer on corn, 100% reduction in fertilizer on black lentils, okay? This one here with the black lentils, that was actually in India. 100% reduction in fertilizer on grapes, 100% reduction in nitrogen fertilizer on rice. This one with the 100% reduction in nitrogen fertilizer on rice, this was done in Ecuador by the government. The government, they did this study. They had the control. The control had, well, you'll see it, it's in here. But the control had 100% of the fertilizer being applied. And then on the crop booster, 0 fertilizer. And we outperformed the production by, I believe, 14% with increased quality. And that was done by the government of Ecuador. It was a section of the government that wanted to see the potential. 67% reduction in fertilizer use on plums. 50% reduction in fertilizer use on flowers. And then we had a reduction in fertilizer use on eggplant. But again, most farmers are not doing this. Most farmers are going to cut back their fertilizer by 10, 15%, maybe 20%, and then see how the plants react. That's the smart way to do it. Again, these were like trial data. How does cation exchange capacity, CEC, affect fertilizer use?
Mr. Frank, can you speed up?
Sure.
Okay.
So now, we're going to talk about improvement in water, right? So what we do is the technology will reduce the water usage because it breaks the water clusters down from bigger clusters down to smaller clusters, which makes the water more absorbable, okay? Plus, we open up the pores of the roots so that water is more easily absorbed. Now, this was a test, a crystallization test that was done to show, what we do to water. So you can see on the left side, the water here, where it says normal irrigation water, the water is more clustered, more compact. Where here, it has more veins. And you can actually see the positive and negative of the water molecule. So this is what we do. We make the water cluster smaller so that it can be more easily absorbed. It helps to structure the water, improve roots, and water use efficiency, right? Dr. Moni, can you tell me how much more time I have? You're on mute. You're on mute.
We have another 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, good. So those are the improvements and benefits of the water. These are the results on water. These are measured by humidity meters that are in the fields. It's the farmers telling us how much water we save them. Okay? All the data we have comes from farmers or scientists or universities. We don't do any of these tests ourselves. Again, the same way we reduce fertilizer usage, we can reduce agrochemicals. It's the same concept. We make the plant stronger and we increase the plant's ability to resist pests. And that any entomologist will tell you that if you make the plant stronger, it will resist disease and resist pests. So that's a natural thing that just happens automatically. Here we go with the number of agrochemicals that we've reduced with farmers and scientists on average. So let's talk about some of our studies. We have more studies than what I'm going to show you because recently, in the last 6 months, we had more studies being released. This was the study I explained on the corn with the University of Santander in Colombia. This was the University of the National Agrarian University in Peru. This was our first university study. They got a 26.7% increase in watermelon yield. This was the Ecuador University in Espache. This was in corn also, forage. And I gave you some of those results earlier. This is where the crop doubled in size. This was in Polytechnic School of Chimborazo. And this was a strawberry trial where they got 100% increase in strawberries. Again, another university trial. This was also in Ecuador at the Polytechnic School of Chimborazo. And this is where they got alfalfa, clover, and ryegrass. They were growing mixed forage for the cows. Then they gave the forage to the cows, specifically, and they saw an increase in the milk production, which we'll get into that. This was the study that we did with the research center in Israel, where we had a 20.48% increase in production, 15.9% increase in fruit weight, 7.1% increase in number of fruits, 8% increase in the total firmness of the fruit, and then a 3% increase in the rating of the general appearance. Again, this was in salty water. Then again, increase in forage and pastures in Ecuador. With the Polytechnic School of Chimborazo does many trials with us. They love our technology. They're doing another like 6 or 7 trials right now as we're speaking. This is what they did with milk production. The cows got so much more healthier that within the first month, the milk production on 20 cows, right, 24 cows, right, compared to 24 cows that were not eating the forage from our production, the increase in milk went up by 50 liters per day. In the second month, it went up to 80 liters per day. By the third month, they were up to 140 liters per day. When they tested the grass, they saw all of these, 19% increase in dry matter, 28% increase in iron, 79% increase in manganese, 13% increase in potassium, 12% increase in calcium, 34% increase in copper, 67% increase in zinc, and 15% increase in boron. That's how much healthier the grass was over the normal grass without our technology. This was the rice study that they did with the National Training Service Center of Colombia, the government study that I explained. No, not the rice. I'm sorry. This was done with palm oil, oil palm nursery. Okay, they had a 7.3% increase and a 5% increase in the stem size. Okay, this was the fertilizer. This was the study in Ecuador on the rice. So you see they had a 14% increase in rice yield, a 16.1% increase in weight of the spikes, 8.5% increase in gram weight, But when you look at the nitrogen fertilizer, the control had 100% fertilizer, and the crop booster had 0. And this was a study done by the government, the section of the government called SEDEJ. Again, I don't recommend any farmer to do this. And that's pretty much an overview, summary of what we do and how we work with the researchers. So we can exit this now. We can. There's our contact information. Well, you would go to harvestharmonics.com and you can check out the science page. Can you bring up the video, Dr. Moni?
Manish, just
Can
one
you bring up the video of
I'm
the
working
scientists?
as head of the Department of Plant Breeding and Genetics. And I've been working on wheat crop over the years for its yield and quality production. Recently, I came to know through some website and through your email that you have some technology developed in order to boost the crop production more than double. And also, besides this, it gives you disease resistance and insect pest resistance. So I was really amazed to know that, and then I opted to work on it, and I agreed to get the technology from your side, and I also agreed to have it demonstrated on my farmer's land. So I selected one farmer who was previously my student, and he's working on certain crops, and he has some practical knowledge of the crops. So I convinced him to use this technology so that we can work out and we can demonstrate practically about the use of this Kimnaski technology. So luckily we got your device and I gave it to him, and he used this device on his irrigation system as being instructed and advised by you. Amazingly, there was a lot of, you can say, difference what he has reported, and he has reported that more than likely more than double yield has been obtained, and the crop was looking very good, lush green, as well as it was protected from different types of the disease and insect attack. So, as being advised by you, he had two types of the fields. One was the control, which was being used as previously, whereas the another field was being separated, and that was being irrigated through Keminaski device. So we followed your instructions and got the desired results. So I am really happy to know that this technology is now proving its worth, and practically it has been achieved its objectives in other parts of the world. And besides, this was first experiment in our country, I think. Maybe some other institutes you might have given this technology as well, but I practically I don't know that, and I am reporting what we have got the results. So besides this, my short brief about this use of this technology and its positive results, which we gave you as well through certain reports, through certain emails. We have previously submitted some data in which we reported that the results of this technology were really good, and we shared some pics, we shared some results, and I am also I have asked my farmers to record his you can say experience as well. And besides this, my short video, I will also attach my farmer's video as well, in which he will himself uh, tell you about the success story which he got by using this Kimnaski technology. So I am very much happy about it, and I want to uh, advise rest of the farmers as well to go for this technology. And I wish all the best for the harvest harmonics. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the next video is the actual farmer that was doing the study. No, not that one.
And I have worked with the Kaminsky plant booster device last year with the Professor Dr. Zahid Akram at Pir Mir Ali Shah Arid Agriculture University, Rawalpindi. I have also completed my graduation in agriculture last year, and I have 25 acres of the land. My farm is located in district Attak, Punjab province of Pakistan. The experiment with the Kaminsky plant booster was conducted according to the given directions. Only the 3 irrigations was applied to the crop according to the requirements. The results are quite remarkable. The crop irrigated with the Kaminsky plant booster showed the uniform spike emergence as compared to the control, and there was a more plant vigor, like more leaf area, the more dark green color and height, number of tillers, etc. There was a node with occurrence on both the plots, like experiment and the control, because of the genetic crop resistance. There was an overall 9% increase in the yield of the plot where the irrigation was applied with the Kaminsky plant booster. The results are quite remarkable, and we are really fan of it due to its simple working and more output. Because of its simplicity and the more output, this year we are going to expand it on our whole farm. Thank you.
Now,
Thank you very much.
if you, I should have sent the picture, because you've seen the picture of they pull the roots and they show the difference in the roots with the wheat compared to the control. It looks like 3 times the size of roots.
If the presentation is over, you have, okay, fine, good. Okay.
The other video, the last video, I don't know if we have time to play it. That one was from the University of Mexico, I believe.
De Villamizar.
Oh no, this is from the University of Santander, Colombia. That's the right video.
I want to watch a short video.
Well, these are all the farmers
Wow. I was very pleased with the results of the peppers.
The soil's softer.
I'm seeing results already.
That's going to be awesome.
We're looking forward to it, yes.
I wouldn't farm anything without it. The control plants didn't survive. All the Kaminsky plants survived, so I guess I was much more pleased than I'd ever been.
My mission is to get healthy, quality food to the people that really need it.
Early on, all the Kaminsky orchards, all 5 of the test orchards, showed 1,500 to 2,000 on a moisture scale, which was classified as very wet. Test orchards right next door that had the same water, the same trees, the same soil, the same farming, the same fertilizer, the same everything, was right on the edge of being dry.
The reality is a booster on everything that I have at home.
A neighbor of mine planted a year ahead of me, and after 3 months, my trees were as big as his.
I agree with you, and I'm excited about it too.
It's for a bigger purpose for me.
My trees just look better.
So the picture is impressive. The size of the turmeric.
That was the most remarkable growth that I'd ever seen on a squash. It's very exponential on the Kaminsky. I'm afraid to farm without it now.
So that's just a synopsis of some of the farmers that sent us videos. The last video with the scientist, that's from the scientist of the University of Colombia, in Colombia. This is in Spanish, but there's an English translation and the subtitles.
De gestión informática y tengo una maestría en producción animal. Soy docente de la Universidad Francisco de Paula Santander, docente de tiempo completo. Tengo la categoría de investigador junior He estado trabajando con forrajes desde 1987, que terminé la carrera. Y la experiencia con la tecnología Kimisaki Plant Crop Buster fue muy interesante. Hace 2 años hicimos un trabajo con maíz en la cual obtuvimos unos resultados supremamente sorprendentes, donde sembramos una hectárea regada con Crop Buster y otra hectárea sin Crop Buster. No aplicamos fertilizantes, solamente se controló la maleza, y los resultados a los 76 días de haber sembrado nos dio que el Crop Buster, las plantas de Crop Buster produjeron 12 hojas, mientras que las que no tenían Crop Buster dieron 9 hojas. El grosor del tallo fue de 2,75 contra 1,5. El tamaño de la mazorca, que fue una cosa bien interesante, la que no tenía Crop Buster así, mientras que la otra, una mazorca formada y bien establecida. Una cosa que nos dimos cuenta fue el tamaño de la raíz. La de Crop Buster era como de 20-25 centímetros, mientras que la otra era como de 15 centímetros. Nos dimos cuenta que se encharcaba mucho más la que no tenía Crop Buster, el terreno, siendo un terreno uniforme, y la producción total del trabajo fue sin Crop Buster, rendimiento de forraje verde 16 toneladas, mientras que la que tenía Crop Buster nos dio 77 toneladas de forraje verde. Entonces para nosotros fue muy placentero y me gustaría seguir trabajando esta tecnología para poder tener mayores producciones, y seguramente con animales. Nosotros trabajamos con cabras, con gallinas, ovejas, vacas y cerdos. Entonces, la bienvenida a la tecnología, y gracias por invitarme a ser parte de esta familia. Buen día.
Excellent. So that's the reaction of most of the scientists that we're working with around the world, and we're looking to work with a lot more scientists around the world, and with big corporations and big operations, because look, we're gonna make the world more sustainable, and we're gonna help as much as we can. And I welcome anyone to contact us, to work with us, and I'm so pleased and appreciative of Dr. Moni to invite me to present to your distinguished and honored guests. And if I can answer any questions, I would be more than happy to answer as many questions as possible.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frank, for your 1.5 hours.
My pleasure.
Discussion, and I have also been joined by my good friend, former professor from the Kerala Agricultural University, Professor Pithamparan Panikar is also joined. And Mr. Manish, is there any question in the chat box? Okay, there is no question. And Professor Pithamparan, you have listened to his talk, and you are Madam Dolly Basin. This is a great tech and application. Can it be extended to other sector?
Absolutely, it can be extended to any crop.
I will give her introduction. She's one of the well-recognized, the agri startup and facilitator in India. and she's by profession is an electronic engineer, and spend her more time in IT, and she promotes agri-tech startup and other non-agri-tech startup, technology startup in India. Mr. Frank.
Yeah, the tech has other applications. It has water applications for humans. It has applications for health, for medical applications in Italy. But right now, the one that's being exported internationally is the agricultural application. So any way that I could work with someone to expand the agricultural application would be great.
Madam Dolly Bessin has also signed an MOU with the university. So let me hear from Professor Bitampran. He is from the okay. Sir, can you please tell me about vermicompost? Okay.
Thank you, Professor Moni and Francesco. See, I got one doubt. There is a salt accumulation because of with tube wells. Is it possible to reduce that ill effects of salt accumulation with this technique?
Is it possible to reduce soil contamination?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is a great problem in many places in India.
Okay, so this is how we handle the soil contamination. Okay, it's a combination of working with our technology, but also working with a specific microbial combination. There are certain microbes that will clean up the soil and handle the contamination in the soil. And there's certain microbes that need to be added to the soil in order to clean up the soil naturally. And then our technology helps the plants to boost those microbes that we added to the soil. So it's like a 1-2 punch. Our technology will not do it alone. If the soil is contaminated, okay, it could take a long time for the plant and our technology to work against that contamination. So you need to do, we need to add a special microbial combination that will boost the soil and clean up the soil while using our technology. We're actually doing this in the country of Nigeria, right? Not Nigeria, Liberia. Liberia is currently under attack by an army worm, and it's destroying more than half the country. And I've been working with the vice president of the country and the senior science director of the country, Dr. Sumo and Dr. Dolo, and we just shipped out to them the microbial combination and our technology. So they're going to do trials to see about cleaning up the soil and handling the infestation of the armyworm, which is coming from the weakness in the soil. So it's you got to clean up the soil so that you can reinforce the biology and get the environment stronger again. So it's a combination. You won't be able to do it alone.
Professor Pitampran?
I can hear it's the continuity. I worked in Liberia, so I know the conditions of Liberia. And say, here
I think there is some issue.
It's okay. Maybe there was some questions. Maybe we can take a question while we're waiting for the connection.
Okay, no, he is part of our research team. Yeah, no.
Activity problem is there. Say, we have in India lot of sodium accumulation. Mostly the contamination is by sodium. Say in your work, this particular technology is reduces the absorption of sodium. Is it not? Can you
Right.
hear
In other
me?
words, yep, I heard you. The plant
yeah.
won't be suffering from the sodium, and it won't be poisoned by the sodium. So it'll have better production because of the way our technology works. But it won't clean up the sodium. It won't eliminate the sodium from the environment. To eliminate the sodium from the environment, we'd have to come up with, I believe also, there's a microbial combination that could do that.
I say I agree with that. Then one more question, or in fact, two questions. One is, say, what is the scientific background in the plants getting resistance? For example, is it because of thickness of the cuticle, or thickness of the cell wall, or is it due to the change in the biochemical activity of the plant?
Okay, so I heard the second part of the question, but not the first part of the question.
First part is the resistance due to this particular technology is due to providing a thick cuticle so that fungus and the insects cannot attack, or due to thickness of the cell wall, or due to biochemical changes in, for example, shikimic acid pathway, and different pathways are there, and in the altering the pathway of the plant. And are there any studies on that?
So the question, just to be clear, is the plant's resistance to pests or fungus invasions based on what you explained? So So this is the way I'm going to explain it, and I hope this makes sense to you, because you're a scientist and have more knowledge than I do in this area. Okay. Every plant has its own genetic makeup, and plants, the genetic potential of the plant is the way it has its own genetic way of defending itself from the environment. The only thing that we do is we boost the energy of the plant to its maximum genetic potential so that it can defend itself in its most capable way. Whether it's one of the 3 or 4 methods that you chose or you mentioned, I don't know, because every plant has its own genetic makeup. So it's really dependent on the genetics of that plant. What we do know is that the stronger we make the plant, the more resistant it is to the environment and to pests.
Thank you very much. The last question, what's the cost involved? Is it can a small farmer can afford this technology?
Yes, because the way we designed the company is that we designed the company so that every farmer can afford it. The pricing for the technology is priced per country. It's not priced it's not priced based on the United States pricing. You know, we will come up with special pricing for India, and I'm expecting that pricing will be lower than the United States, because we want to make sure it's affordable for every farmer. We want every farmer to have the ability to purchase it and use it for their benefit. We need to take responsibility for the whole planet. We need to take responsibility for all the farmers. So we cannot price the technology where a farmer can't afford it. So we're set up to set the pricing so that every farmer can afford it.
So with this positive note, I thank Professor Pitambran. Is there any other questions you would like to ask or any final remark, Professor Pitambran? Hello?
There was
Are
a
you able to
question
hear me?
about vermiculture, I believe.
Yeah, that is Professor Pitambran. Are you online? Okay. And if there are no questions, and I would like to thank Professor Pitambran and our guest speaker, Mr. Francesco Arlia, and also two participants who viewed the presentation through the social media have also put the question, and we can also respond to them, through email appropriately. It's a very important presentation. I'm very much thankful for Professor Pitambran. In his busy schedule, he was able to participate from the beginning, and he's also shown his interest and raised very meaningful questions to understand the this technology and how the technology can be useful to the Indian farmers. And I thank Mr. Francesco for making a wonderful presentation with various case studies from different parts of the world, and their experience, both academic and educational institution, research institution, and the farmers. And it is a real field experience which you were able to expose during the last about 1.5 hours. And please tell us that this institute, deemed to be university, Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be university, and the centers of excellence like the Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, we are in a very big mission on the adoption of digital technology in agriculture.
Yes.
And no other universities in India has taken this strong step during the last 10 years. And we have adopted agriculture as a use case for the the engineering and the non-engineering students of India to get into agriculture. And that's why I said it also that this university which is launched even MTech in agricultural informatics in a very big manner. So now please tell us that how you would like to work with the university, which is it's a university with a pioneer attack, and also consider the entire India as its lab for undertaking research work. And also now signed an MOU with the African Asian Rural Development Organization for institutional collaboration between Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology and the Centers of Excellence, and also the 32 member countries of African Asian Rural Development Organization. The technology, in the initial my talk, I mentioned about the 4 components which are very important. To develop any sector of economy, a nation essentially needs 4 main synchronized intervention, enabling policy environment, state-of-the-art technology, and a financing mechanism and entrepreneurship capacity. These 4 are very important. You have touched in almost all the components. Now, being one of the very progressive and university which is focusing on technology adoption and promotion, and through skill and entrepreneurship development in rural India. So how you would like to get associated with the university, and through that various pilot project which we've taken. Professor Pitambran is involved in experimenting and operationalizing smart tribal farming projects, and how to adopt such technology in where the irrigated water is available for the crops. And I see a lot of possibility in seeing the trials, testing the technology in the smart tribal farming project, which we initiated throughout the country in a cluster of 10 to 15 tribal villages. And I would like to hear from you, Mr. Frank, that one is capacity building, competency development, skill and entrepreneurship development for the farmers and the rural youths. And also, the university has taken up smart tribal farming as a part of the digital technology in agriculture. Smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. I would like to hear from you. And then I also would like to suggest to you that you can write a letter of introduction, to the Honorable Chancellor of the university, to see that how your institution and the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology can work together in terms of further research, further capacity building, further entrepreneurship development through agri-tech startup and research. Over to you, Mr. Frank.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the offer to continue our relationship and continue to work together. I will make this very brief and very simple. India is a super important country. India is very important to the agricultural industry, and they are an opinion leader in agriculture. And so any way that I can help to work with the university and yourself and your colleagues to come up with a plan of action to further demonstrate how we can help India together and benefit each other, I'm ready, willing, and able to move forward. The main thing is this: I have very few strict policies. One is that we don't give any technology or work with any farmers that grow drug plants, and I'm sure you would feel the same. Okay, I don't believe in drugs, and so I don't support any farmers that grow drug plants, whether they're legal or illegal. I don't care. I won't have any of my technology being used for drug plant growing. And number two, we have to stay independent of any trials that we get involved in. So we don't fund any finances other than the technology itself for doing trials. But other than that, we're very easy to work with, and we embrace every opportunity with open arms.
Thank you very much. And we also would like to be, very happy to, as an university is a premier institution to establish an agriculture informatics as a discipline. That's where you can see the two, center of excellence at the bottom of the screen.
Right.
And we also would like to be very carefully that as I said it earlier also, that we also don't want to have any relationship with any American company who has got any investment from China. So this is also one of the very important points. And you also said it very clearly that you don't have any investment from China. So that makes the point very clear. And then let us see that, because any university which would like to have any association with any firms or research firms and so on and so forth, initially there has to be some investment from the firm, institutions who are undertaking that, because university cannot invest anything except getting into the research component and so on and so forth on sponsorship and so on and so forth.
Understood.
And initially there will be some investment in terms of, because we have to associate research associates and so on and so forth. That can be maybe for 2 years, 3 years. There has to be some sort of an assistance in terms of finance, and then it picks up, so that we can have a mutual understanding. So with this, I would like to thank Mr. Franco, and since I understood this technology, and I would like to see that the importance of that, And I also invited you to deliver our webinar series on Saturday. That is an international webinar series in association with the African Asian Rural Development Organization. That also you can bring in a lot of international experiments which you have done in various other countries, and you can bring it out. That webinar starts at 11:30 a.m. with the same platform, but the link will be different, which we'll send you tomorrow evening. And I would like to thank Professor Pitambran for your participation and raised very important, pertinent, questions based on your vast experience. And thank you very much. And we would like to have a final remark from Professor Pitambran, and then I would like to, propose a vote of thanks, and then we'll close the webinar. Professor Pitambran.
Thank you, Professor Moni and Francesco. This is a work, or this finding can be of great help to the farmers of India and also to the tribal community, because there the productivity is very low, even compared to the state level or the national level. The productivity is less than 25% of the national productivity. So if you can increase the productivity up to this national level, there will be a 4 times increase, not doubling, will be 4 times increase that. So I will be very happy to get to know more about this technology and how this can be used effectively among the tribals. I'm now worried more about the tribals, because the other farmers at least have got some know-how about the modern agricultural schedule, while the tribals have not. So if our input is not very very expensive, if we work with the tribal, the result will be substantial, and we can show the results to the government and to the international community that the increase can be very, very helpful to the tribals, not only tribals, but also to the general public. Thank you very much, Professor Moni and Francesco.
Thank you very much. And I think he has Professor Pitambran. He's one of the principal advisor of the Smarter Tribal Farming project initiated by the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology. It will be very nice that Mr. Frank, you can forward one chapter, maybe 3 to 4 page, adoption of this technology under the Smarter Tribal Farming, so that it becomes a part of the project proposal, and how to train and so on and so forth, that you can take it up as the that involvement to, because we are now taking it from the entire country, different states, different cluster of 10 tribal villages, not one village, 10 to tribal. We would like to see come to study the regional clarity, regional differences, different crops, and so on and so forth. So with this, I would like to thank the Professor Pitambran Padikar, and also Mr. Francesco Arlia and Madam Dolly Bison, and and other viewers from both India and abroad for viewing this program. And with this, I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the faculty members and the viewers of this program. And they made this program very successful, and we will see to that. And this project, this technology gets adopted for the benefit of the entire community, because he said it, the topic is doubling farmers' income. Now, from this discussion, with the way in which Professor Pitambran Panikar has talked about it, it's not only double, it will be many-fold. And he's also suggested for that, why can't we, try to, see that technology adopted in smarter tribal farming, so that these experiments will show to the whole world that how it can be fourfold. So it will be empowering through bioenergy farming and getting a more nutritious and sustainable food supply. And you have done very well. I thank Mr. Francesco Arlia and he was, a technical staff working throughout the world. But I would like to have a strong relationship between your institute, your organization, and the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, and through that we'll be, providing, research collaborations and capacity building relation, platform for the rural use throughout the country, throughout the world. And this should be important, because Changemaker 20 is part of G20, and India is the present. It's has taken over the presidency of G20, and one family, one planet, and one earth. That is the theme of G20, and let us work towards the betterment of the farming community, and also try to work on empower through the bioenergy farming and create more nutritious and sustainable food supply. And let us see to that how to multifold, manifold farmers' income, not only by 2022 and beyond. Thank you very much, and we will close the webinar today. Thank you very much,
Dr. Moni, and thank you, Dr. Pete Humberon. My pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to working with both of you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We'll close it. Thank you.